Hey yo, it's me, Alex from the Longest Cosplays, bringing you a new show? What? A new weekly show, yes. A show where I have to commit to uploading once a week at the very least. Crazy, I know, because I usually never do that, but I figured, why not? Why not, right? And we have a somewhat uninspired premise, but with a twist? Maybe not uninspired, because I was very inspired, actually, by, by Basement Comics and Mr. McGroovy, who do the Cornerbox Classics and Old Comic Book Day videos, and you know, um, and I was thinking, why not do the exact same thing, but there's an actual end date? Ooh, I'm going from January of 1990 all the way to October 22nd, 2003. That is the day that I was born. In this hypothetical reality of me reading these books, I no longer exist after that day, so that's crazy. I would have never lived to see iPhones or technology grow as much as it has in this hypothetical reality, but that's fine. That's fine, because probably better off back then. Or I'd probably be better off in the past than I am now, because I hate everything now. I'm kidding. Seriously though. Gonna tackle a few things here, before I get into the books for this month. Speaking of which, I'm going by a month-by-month basis. So, this week is January, next week is February of 1990, so on and so forth. Why am I doing that? Well, I'm not made of money, nor do I have a collection of like 10,000 books. So, I'm going off of everything that I have in my collection, to which I have graciously done a spreadsheet of, I'm like halfway finished with it, of all the books that I currently have, in monthly release order. So, I mean, that was kind of a pain in the ass. But, you might be wondering, why 1990? Well, like I said, I don't have that many books, and, frankly, I don't have enough books that released in the same week to warrant me doing weekly like a week of August 1982 or whatever, like Basement does. I don't have enough to warrant me doing that. And you might be wondering, why not 1970s or 1980s? Well, I would mostly be talking about Fantastic Four and Green Lantern, if that were the case. You get some Daredevils mixed in there, some Spider-Mans mixed in there, maybe a Superman book or two, but because I kind of focus on a couple of things, there'd be some Moon Knights in there too, I should probably say. There would be some Moon Knights in there too, but again, there's not enough variety in my collection to really, you know, that's not like a bad thing, because I'm collecting what I want to collect. That's the whole thing. Collect what you love or whatever. Because it's not a bad thing to have so few books in a specific era. Because if we're gonna go back to the Silver Age, I pretty much only have Green Lantern and Fantastic Four. I have one Daredevil from the Silver Age. I have one Daredevil, and it's the first appearance of Stiltman, number 8. Second red costume, which is funny. But from like 1961 to like maybe 64 or 65, it's just Green Lantern. And that's funny to me. So, we're starting in 1990, because from this point onward, it has the most of my variety. And there's more DC than Marvel, if I remember correctly. And I am also going by specific publishers too. I'm only doing Marvel, DC, and Image. Might be wondering, Alex, why only Image? Well, in this hypothetical reality, I'd probably only be interested in Image. Or the big two and then Image. because it was such a new thing at the time, and everybody was kind of into it. And I'm kind of going off of my own real life experiences too. I didn't start getting into anything indie that wasn't Image until very recently, actually, probably within the last 2 years. Which is really interesting to think about. Um, but month by month basis, Marvel, DC, Image, starting in 1990. Is there anything else I want to mention? Probably not. This is bound to be outdated very soon, or soon-ish, because I do have like 3 local shows going from like August to October. I think I have one in August, September, and October. And then actually, there might be going to 2 shows in August. One of them isn't local to me, but we'll see. And I'm taking a vacation next week. I don't know what I'm gonna come back with. So, I'm very well bound to get more books released in January of 1990 or February of 1990 or anything like that. And when that happens, I'm not updating these videos. These are gonna be here. If I get any books that fill in the months that I have already, then I'll add them to the list. And if there's too many in one, then I'll just split it into 2. We'll see. There are also, as of right now, there are a few months that only have like 1 or 3 books. Those will probably get looped into a different, or I'll probably just combine 2 months into one video for my own sake. So, what are we reading today? What are we reading this month? If January of 1990. Well, if I was going to my local comic book store, in this hypothetical reality, I'd probably be able to drive still. Well, hopefully, I'd be able to drive. So, what would I be listening to on the radio, or if I had a CD player in my car? Well, Flood by They Might Be Giants came out of January of 1990, so I'd probably be listening to that. But in terms of everything in the past, coming off of the 80s, I mean, Batman 89 just came out, Ghostbusters 2 had just come out, so I'd probably maybe be listening to some Prince and Run DMC. But anything in particular? Well, Stormfront by Billy Joel, released in 1989. Might be wondering, what's your favorite song on that album? You probably weren't wondering that, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. And So It Goes. It's one of his greatest songs. Truly one of his saddest songs as well. And just an absolute masterpiece of music. Well, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a huge Billy Joel fan. I'm like unbiased. It is one of the greatest songs ever. But other notable tracks: Leningrad, Downeaster Alexa, That's Not Her Style. State of Grace is really good too. If you're feeling like a little silly, you could listen to When in Rome or Shameless. Shameless, like he wrote that song specifically, or not specifically, but in the mindset that Jimi Hendrix would sing it. And you can really hear it in his vocals. And it's really funny. I know there is a cover of it. Of Shameless, but I don't remember who it's by. But they turned it into like a country song, and I'm pretty sure even Billy said it worked better as a country song. Which is funny, because he has a very interesting history with country, but I won't get into that. But We Didn't Start the Fire, probably the most well-known track on the album. Not a huge fan of it. It's not a bad song. I don't hate it. I just have heard it so much, and for some reason that's people's go-to when they listen to that album, and I'm like, Downeaster Alexa is right there if you want a really good, like, story-based song. Or, Leningrad. Leningrad 2 is amazing, talking about, the Cold War, The Iron Curtain, you know. It's great. It's a great song. And of course, And So It Goes. I mean, I'm gonna bring it up again because it's so good, and I really suggest you listen to it. Don't come flying and complaining at me if you end up crying. I warned you. But I'd probably be listening to Stormfront. Dr. Feelgood by Motley Crue. Funny enough, I actually used to listen to that record a lot in high school, because I took 3 years of weight training classes. You would never believe it, but I really did. Took 3 years of weight training classes, and the title track, Dr. Feelgood, was played a lot. And I got really interested in the song, so I listened to, you know, so sticky sweet. That's what he says. That's what Motley Crue says. Sticky sweet. Dr. Feelgood. There's a couple of other record or tracks I'm not remembering right now. Full Moon Fever by Tom Petty. Probably would have listened to that. I think I've heard like the main hits off of that record. I'm not like, and I really need to do this, but I need to get into Tom Petty more because I do like his stuff. Even I love his stuff when, you know, he's with the Heartbreakers. I love his solo stuff, you know. I need to listen to more Tom Petty. So Full Moon Fever would probably have been on my list of albums I'd be listening to at this time. But I figured, I mean, Basement Comics, he does that thing where he talks about songs he listens, or he would listen to if he was biking out to his comic book store in August of 1982. And he always has like some great songs, like, that he listens to. Like, he has incredibly good taste, and I think that's awesome. So check out his channel because he's like the main inspiration behind this. I'm just kind of putting my own youthful spin on things. Anyway, what am I reading this week? What am I actually reading this week? Well, we're kind of cutting into some things here, and I'll explain this in a moment. But Green Lantern, Emerald Dawn number 3, and Daredevil number 278. Yes, it's only 2. I would have combined this month with February, but I figured get a nice intro to kind of explain everything so I don't have to keep doing it later on. I could just tell everyone, watch this. So these would be the only books I pick up. In this hypothetical reality, my 22-year-old broke ass can only afford 2 books with $2. And I'd probably still find a way to get myself a meal at McDonald's because it's on the way home. And that's what I usually do, but today I didn't do it because I really need to save my money. It goes to show how expensive food has gotten lately. But yeah, Green Lantern, Emerald Dawn. For context, because we are starting at issue 3, I'm going to kind of explain this a little roughly here. Retelling, or post-crisis retelling of Hal Jordan's origin. One of the best tellings of Hal Jordan's origin. Came out in January of 1990. Written by Gerard Jones and Keith Giffen. I know, Gerard Jones, not the greatest guy, do your own research, I'm not explaining that. You know, but the story's good. The story's really good. Pencils by Mark D. Bright, who I think is one of the greatest Green Lantern artists of all time. God rest his soul. And Romeo Tonghal on inks. So in this issue, it starts out with this guy. His name is Legion. He's in gold armor, and he's you know, fighting Hal Jordan. He's like, "Hey man, I need you to take me to Oa." And you start out like this, and it's beautiful, a beautiful page right there by Mark D. Bright. And Hal's like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna do that for you. Like, I need my power, you know, because Legion is kicking the absolute shit out of Hal Jordan. And so he kind of depowers for a little bit. Ring kind of fucks off, you know. So Hal Jordan's like, God damn it, I'm trapped in this jail cell. What the hell's gonna happen? But the wall is blown open, so it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. And so he kind of discovers, that a hospital, the hospital that his buddy Andy is working at, or attending, or at, I don't really remember off the top of my head. I'm sorry, I sound like a fake fan right now. Andy's in there, regardless. Andy's in there, his friend. And Hal's like, God damn it, I need to, is he okay? What's happened, you know? I need to look for something. There's this huge, and police are saying, like, there's this huge thing that just kind of passed by, and they're not really sure what it is. So Hal's like, gotta find my ring. So he walks all the way back to Ferris Aircraft. He walks back all the way to the ship that, you know, Abin crashed on Earth, where Hal Jordan met him and got the ring. So he finds the ring, he finds the power battery, everything is fine and dandy. He activates the ring. He does the silly. He takes his ring and he punches it into the power battery. Excuse for me to show you that this actually works and it's not just sitting there. It's really cool. Really cool gift. And Hal's just like, what's going on? And then the ring starts communicating. He's like, whoa, I didn't know you can do that. Should have done that earlier. That would have been nice to know if you can talk to me. So he's like, tell me anything you know about this yellow thing. And so Ring kind of does some shit. And Hal's like, no, hold on. I want the memories of the person who wore this ring before me. So, in Star Wars fashion, like a Force ghost almost, Hal Jordan is projected onto the ship of Abin Sur. And Hal's like, whoa, it's like I'm in a movie. Or I'm watching a movie, only I'm in the movie. It's crazy. And this is in an ongoing battle in space that Abin Sur is in. He's shooting around, and Hal Jordan, you know, being a test pilot for Ferris Aircraft. He's like, oh my god, this guy's nice shooting, Tex. If you understand that quote, I love you a lot. Anyway, so in these memories, Legion shows up, and because this is still in like the wacky Silver Age kind of mindset, yellow doesn't work against a Green Lantern. Green Lanterns are still weak to the color yellow. So Legion kind of taunts Abin Sur. He's like, you should know yellow when you see it. And, you know, Abin Sur's like, ah, fuck, I gotta get out of here, man. I gotta get out of here. So he's kind of doing a badass thing there. And then Hal Jordan's kind of like, he kind of materializes. There you go. Words are hard, kids. Materializes in the ship, fights off Legion. It's really cool. Again, yellow does it. It's not going to do anything. The Green Lantern ring isn't going to do anything against yellow, so he kind of has to use his wit. And then, oh, explosion! Ooh, that's how that ends, and it's really good. I do love the way that Hal Jordan is portrayed in this era. I love the way that he's drawn as well. I'm gonna circle back here. Just a few pages. Where I think, like, really cement why I love Mark Bright as a Green Lantern artist, because, like, this to me is just how Hal Jordan is supposed to look. You know, he's got, like, the somewhat longer hair, but it's still short enough to not be annoying to draw, I guess. And it's swoopy, it's suave, it's cool. Really, really good. If this was my first ever Green Lantern book, I'd be very interested to see what happened in the first two issues, which are just Hal Jordan getting the ring and being a stupid young adult and getting in trouble or whatever. But this still would have been a very good first issue for me to get. And then I'd take a second, process that, have a sip of this nice Coca-Cola, which, fuck the actual company. I hate AI. They used a lot of AI commercials like this past Christmas, and it really, it brings me, it boils my blood. It sickens my stomach. But that's a different rant for a different day. Probably off the record, because I don't like getting that angry on camera. But either way, take a sip of the Coca-Cola, and then I would read Daredevil, number 278. Also came out in January of 1990. Written by Ann Nocenti, or Nocenti, I don't know how to pronounce that last name. Pencils by John Romita Jr., and inks by Al Williamson. And I just gotta say, I love John Romita Jr. I love his art. He's a very nice guy as well. I finally got to meet him at Heroes Con last month. It was an absolute pleasure. It was the first thing I did that Friday morning. It was awesome. But as a kid, I did grow up seeing a lot of his art. It was him and Humberto Ramos were like my childhood Spider-Man artists. And to own a lot of Romita Jr. art now, or a lot of Romita Jr. books, sorry, now is crazy to me. Of course, he did Amazing Spider-Man with J. Michael Straczynski. I know he did Amazing Spider-Man I think he did some stuff in the 80s, maybe the 90s too, after his dad. I know he did a lot of the most recent, or the Zeb Wells Spider-Man run, and a Daredevil run from like 3-4 years ago, I think it was now. So, and I got this book, from like an eBay bundle. I was trying to get a lot of like Silver Centurion Iron Man books, and this just so happened to be in that bundle. But you get, before I even open it up, you get Daredevil and Blackheart. It's really cool cover by Romita Jr. and Al Williamson. And speaking of great openers, you get this beautiful page that tells you pretty much everything you need to know about Blackheart. And you also get Mephisto. Crazy that for so long people were theorizing Mephisto was going to appear in WandaVision, and then another show, only for the fucker to appear in Ironheart of all things. Anyway. Mephisto's on a ramble about everything is evil. And once again, I can't stress this enough. Look at how beautiful that is. Not only are the pencils by Romita Jr. just amazing, you can't forget about the inkers. You really can't forget about the inkers, because they tie the whole damn thing together. And are the reason a lot of things just look so good. In the final result. But Blackheart is kind of sent on this mission to torture people, basically. Sins of everything, sins of mankind, or whatever. It's really just like your kind of over-the-top evil storyline or plot there. But it works. I mean, we'll get into this. And we cut to upstate New York, where Daredevil, clad in facial hair, little 5 o'clock shadow probably, or, he's kind of just hanging out with his family or whatever. I assume that he knows these people pretty well by now, considering the fact that he's in their home and they're just smoking cigarettes around him. This is like a vacation home or whatever. It's kind of a snowy area. Family leaves for a little bit. Cut back to Blackheart and Mephisto, and again, Again, must I stress how beautiful this is. This isn't beautiful. Hydelight sucks. Don't ever play Hydelight. It's like if The Legend of Zelda were like a really shitty game. And I don't know about you, but I like The Legend of Zelda. I don't want it to be shitty. And also, oh, and you know what? If you really like the Indiana Jones soundtrack, you hear it constantly in this. Not intentionally, it just sounds a lot like the Indiana Jones theme. And it's really annoying. And I mean really annoying, because if you go to mute it, if you mute the game, it mutes all sound effect. So you either get the music, or you get nothing. And it sucks. It's a terrible game. Terrible game. But that's not what I'm talking about here today. I'm talking about Daredevil 278. And, again, I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep showing off the art. Look at that. Look at how beautiful that is. He is, in fact, Blackheart. He is Blackheart. Either way, Daredevil was kind of going off, being alone or whatever. And it's kind of like the snowy area, you know. And he wants to go off, but he ends up getting in a truck with Brandy Ash right here. I think that's who that is. Yeah, Brandy Ash. He gets in the truck with her, and then he kind of just steps out for a little bit because people are fighting. You get Skip Ash too in Gorgon Petragon. They're fighting a little bit. So Daredevil kind of uses his radar sense to kind of see what's happening, you know, and he goes over. He runs off. He goes over, and he gets into another little thing where he finds this other dude who's kind of just running off. This is an unrelated character, and my god, he like tackles this poor fucking dude and just beats the shit out of him, pretty much. Or not beats the shit out of him, but he kind of like gives him the old 1-2, you know, like, where are you? Who are you? You know, or who are you, basically, you know. And it's kind of like, evil doesn't need to speak, and then Blackheart shows up. Jaw dropped on the floor. It has been a very long time since because I read this book when I got it those years ago. This is the first time I'm reading it since then. Jaw on the floor. Like, again, I'm going to get like really good at showing this art. Like, look at that. Look at that, man. It's so good. You truly can't beat it. And then Blackheart shows up. He kind of disappears for a little bit. Daredevil is kind of just in shock. He doesn't know what he was doing, pretty much. He doesn't know who he was chasing. He just knows he was chasing something. And he's kind of like shaken. And then Mephisto's watching from beyond, you know, and you get ads for incredible savings for 14-issue things, and then Silver Surfer and Fantastic Four by Walt Simonson. That's cool. I should also say, you're not going to get like the most comprehensive overviews of the plots. I suck at I suck at speaking plot-wise about things like this. It's the same way with movies too. It's not just a comic book thing. It's not that I don't read these. It's just, it's hard for me to explain what the fuck is happening sometimes. And that's just a me thing. So, if you think I did a shitty job of recounting these, pick the books up for yourself or go read them online. Rather read the full storylines that these are attached to. That's probably going to give you a much better understanding of what's happening. But that's all for this month. Again, you know, not too many, but I figured I'd get, you know, good intro going, just so you guys can kind of get a feel for what this is going to be like. I think next month we have a lot more. I think we have some Spider-Man. I think there's a Green Lantern next month too. Probably... I don't know, actually. I know Spider-Man's in there, for sure. Maybe some Superman. Or I think it's Superman, actually, that's in there. Either way. There's a lot more stuff for next month, or next week, in this weird timeline. So, stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching this. I'm gonna make an effort to do this every Thursday. This will be your Thursday video. Thursday show. Recorded on a Wednesday, uploaded on a Thursday. Seriously though, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy this, let me know. I'll do more regardless because it's video ideas. But you're welcome to say, no, Alex, don't do this. And then I can piss you off by doing more of them anyway. It'd be really funny. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye-bye now.